Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. I'd like to start this session a bit differently by wishing our Muslim brothers and sisters a very happy Eid Mubarak.
I want to wish you all a very, very happy Eid Mubarak.
This is a very special day, so the best we can do here at YOLENO TV is to wish you all the best during this Eid Mubarak festive season. So first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at the developing stories. We have seen a scenario where a newspaper has been shared, and that newspaper talks about Mungiki Baka. I don't know how many of you have spotted that newspaper, but the Standard newspaper has talked about Mungiki Baka. Now, on the front cover, if you look at it very well, just check on your screen, that headline tells us about Mungiki Baka. So this is a strategy which I believe is on how to make sure that William Ruto's rally are full. You know, there is talk that people are going to stay away from that rally. There's talk that some leaders, and I've heard about Moses Kuria, that Moses Kuria is going to skip that tour, which is supposed to be a 5 days tour. So because of that reason, and because of so many things which have been said, it's as if, based on what the Standard is saying, is that Maina Njenga has a hand in Ruto's mobilization for Mount Kenya tour. We very well know that Maina Njenga and Rigathi Gachagua are political competitors in Mount Kenya. Maina Njenga, before Rigathi Gachagua jumped ship, was the darling of the people. But because Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, Rigathi Gachagua managed to quickly marshal support to his base from Maina Njenga. So in this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to focus on this Mungiki backup. But first of all, let me encourage you to like this video. It's so important because when you like this video, that is the only YouTube shares our content. Subscribe to our channel if you're not subscribed before. And to existing subscribers, I want to continue thanking you so much because without you, this channel won't have grown. Ruto is, of course, facing a lot of political challenges accessing Mount Kenya. This trip has been postponed many times. We are aware that 1st April is the day that Ruto is starting his tour of the mountain. Because of that reason, the huge challenge is getting numbers to come to William Ruto during the tour. There are people who are saying they're not going to attend that meeting, that tour. There are people who are going to attend the tour. We don't know about the likes of Irungu Kangata, whether they're going to preside or rather to support William Ruto in that tour, whether they are going to stay away. It's just a matter of time before you find out. But if I remember last week when Kindiki had a tour of, I think, Muranga County, Irungu Kangata was nowhere to be seen. A host of other leaders, Ndini included, were not with Kindiki. And that was a sign that all was not going to be well during this tour in Mount Kenya. So in very few words, Kindiki had failed to convince those leaders to come to that meeting. Now, because of that reason, this is the reason why you find that newspapers like the Standard are coming up with the Mungiki backup as their headline. That is to tell us that Maina Njenga is going to be used to mobilize people to come to William Ruto's rallies or to attend Ruto's tour. One thing I'm very sure about is that William Ruto is going to go to Sagana. He's going to host a meeting in Sagana. And one thing I know, Ruto is going to maybe have some, interview with a local TV station or radio stations from Mount Kenya, most likely in Noro, so that he can, explain certain things for the people. He will want to talk about things which, according to him, he thinks Rigathi Gachagua is not being factual about. So because of that reason, he will want to, explain to the locals in the best language they understand, because people listen to Inoro sana huko Mount Kenya. So when they speak about issues through Inoro, it's very easy for the people to now resonate well with them. Like that's why I remember last time when Ruto you tour Mount Kenya, when Rigathi Gachagua was still the deputy president, he would have some sessions, roundtable discussions with the local media channels within Mount Kenya. So Mungiki is a backup plan, and Moses Kuria is not going to attend. No, what next, ladies and gentlemen? When you listen or when you hear about Mungiki, the first thing that comes to your mind is violence. We saw what happened during Mwai Kibaki's time, second term, I think the second term or the first term of Mwai Kibaki, when there was a resurrection of Mungiki. Now, Mungiki terrorized people in Nairobi, Mount Kenya, and then there was talk about Mungiki in Mombasa. So this network was fast growing, but then the government decided to deal with it ruthlessly. That is how it fizzled out. So Maina Njenga has been the person blamed to be organizing Mungiki activities. That's why he was at one particular time arraigned in court, so many times arraigned in court, but is now outside. It's outside court. So people think that he is outside court because he wants to help William Ruto to mobilize people in Mount Kenya. So the big question, ladies and gentlemen, just tell us below in the comment section whether you think Maina Njenga can outsmart Rigathi Gachagua in the mountain. He could have outsmarted him when Rigathi was still the deputy president, but Rigathi, after impeachment, managed to convince the people that he was the darling, their darling. He's actually the one who used to fight for them when he was in power. Of course, there are other leaders who believe that Rigathi Gachagua is not telling the truth. Ni kwamba yeye kwa sababu alinyimwa ile helikopta, yeye kwa sababu alinyimwa zile dili kubwa kubwa, ndio maana amerudia watu ili ionekane kwamba watu ndio wako na yeye, ama yeye yuko na watu. Either way, ladies and gentlemen. So, what Ruto is going to be faced with is a scenario where Maina Njenga, through Mungiki backup plan, is going to mobilize people for the president. That is what is being said by the Standard newspaper and any other and some other local channels which are talking about William Ruto's tour. I do not know about you, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think Mungiki is going to help William Ruto in the mountain? I want to just go below in the comment section and tell us whether you think William Ruto is going to get help from Mungiki, because people avoid not to attend those tours because they will be very busy. Some people are saying very busy. I remember the last time I heard about Justin Muturi. He talked about being very busy when Ruto will be touring Mount Kenya. So this tour is going to take 5 days. It's just going to be like any other tour, which itaisha, it will have its own shortcomings, just like the northeastern one, whereby it was very successful. Then the last day, issues ilitokea pale Isiolo. So, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.